Hi and welcome to February 2024 Patreon rewards video. This month, once again, I didn't really do a whole lot of personal stuff on the side. Once again, I had a lot of work to do and I am dealing with burnout. However, I can feel the burnout lifting, like it's kind of going away. I'm starting to get excited and energized about drawing again. So I think that probably this month I'm going to start doing a little bit more personal stuff. I definitely have to work on the storyboard for my wife's project. So that's something that is absolutely priority for this month. So that will start getting done this month for sure. So let's start with this month's postcard. So this month's postcard, I drew Conan the Barbarian. Before I talk any more about it, I just want to really quickly to say who won this month's postcard. So this month's postcard was won by Anastasia. Anastasia, you won this month's postcard. Congratulations. Okay, so I drew Conan the Barbarian here, and one of the reasons why I drew him was because I was thinking about all the fictional characters that I was thinking of drawing. And usually my go-tos would be superheroes. Problem is that lately I've kind of been disillusioned by a lot of the superhero stuff because one of the things that I liked when I drew superheroes was that I was reading comics. I liked what they were writing. I liked the stories. They've just reinforced my love of the superheroes. But in the last 2 years or so, superhero comics have been mostly poorly written. They've definitely been shooting themselves in the foot. They've been destroying the characters. The writers that they get are not good writers. They the writers either diminish the superhero, or they create brand new characters that tend to be self-inserts of the writer, and those new characters that are self-inserts are always better than the main character for some reason, or showing them up, or take over the book, or something. And the main characters are always written badly or not written as the characters or something. There's always like it's messed up. So it's disillusioned me from the characters because now I associate the characters with the bad writing rather than the fun stories that they're supposed to represent. With Conan, even if somebody was trying to do, it's kind of hard to do that with Conan. Like, I mean, you could write bad stories with Conan, but there is a Conan canon, right? Like Robert E. Howard wrote his Conan stories and they're it. And then anything else is just basically fan fiction of Conan. But you can't destroy Conan because he's already got his little stories, and you can just read them. The interesting thing about Conan is that he tends to be the monster, the creature. Like all superheroes are creatures of the margin that protect the center. That's really what the superheroes tend to be. They tend to be monsters, the marginal, the people, the creatures at the edge of the world, right? You go on a map, and then there's the marginalia. In manuscripts, there's the marginalia, and there's always creatures or some other kind of edgy monster something, right? And those monsters are there as signposts to say beyond this point is death, right? That's when you get into chaos and death. That's how Halloween works. That's what Halloween is. You dress up as a monster because, and then that leads to death, which then leads to All Saints Day, which is the Resurrection Day, the day of everlasting life, that sort of thing. So resurrection and everlasting life. And same thing with Lent, and I'm not going to get into it. But anyway, so superheroes tend to be that. They're the monsters at the edge. They're the gargoyles that protect the cathedral from the water, right? Which would erode the cathedral. So that's what superheroes tend to be. They tend to be like some kind of hybrid chimera that protects. And then and the thing is that when you see the monsters, that's the undefined, the thing that is undefined, the chimera, Spider-Man, Batman, Superman is an alien that is disguised as a human, but you see what I'm saying? When you see the monsters, those are the signposts of beyond this point is death. But the monsters, there are certain monsters, like the gargoyles, like the superheroes, who protect the center, the building, from the waters, right? So Conan is kind of that. He's the guy that's on the outside, that doesn't want to go on the inside. And he tends, and the philosophy there is that, everybody is the natural state of man is barbarian, right? That was the worldview that Robert E. Howard was kind of putting forth. That if you just leave a person alone, that's the natural state, and everything is good that way. And I disagree with that, but I think that Conan works at the level that I just spoke about, which is that he tends to be the crazy that protects, even though he sometimes does it reluctantly, right? He's not a hero. He's just a very self-centered, selfish dude. But the conceit of the world that Conan lives in is that civilization has gotten too soft and corrupt, so that it actually makes Conan much more of the good guy, because in his world the center has turned upside down and has become messed up. So one of the things that, say, a character like Puss in Boots and Conan, what they do is that they, in their rebellious way, in a world that's upside down, the rebel is the truth sayer, right? The Joker is the one that turns the world right side up in an upside down world. So that's kind of and so the world that Conan lives in is kind of upside down. And so when the world is upside down, the rebel rights it up. And that's why, Conan ends up becoming king, right? He didn't look for it. He didn't even want it, but he ends up becoming king because everything is so upside down that he could be king. It's a very strange. Puss in Boots is the same way. He's lying the whole time throughout the whole story, but the world he's in is upside down. So the fact that he's lying all the time means that he's actually telling the truth about the poor young man. He is everything that he says he is. It's just that he hasn't, but the world doesn't realize it yet. And so by saying all these lies, he's actually telling the truth about the poor young man, and he writes the world, and it turns right side up by the end of the story, and everything about the young man becomes reality. So I decided to draw Conan because of that sort of thing. I think that is what keeps kind of attracting me to the character. He's a very interesting character in that respect. Also, he's also an interesting thing about Conan. If you read the stories, he's also looking for this place where he has heard that people live forever. So he's looking for immortality. He's looking for to live forever. He's looking for eternal life. Of course, when he actually finds the place, it turns out that it's full of corruption and evil sorcerers and all kinds of stuff. But I thought that was a really interesting thing, that his motivation to leave his own village is to search for this place where he's looking for eternal life. So that's Conan. So that's why I drew Conan, and I wanted to make him do. And again, like, just this postcard is about the lights and the whites, and I just added some red. Next time I'm gonna choose a different red ink, because this looks too orangey to me, and I wanted it to be more reddish, and I think I just chose the wrong ink. This time around, it's not horrible, and I'm not super angry. I just think that maybe next time I'll just get a darker red so that it feels more red. But and I think hopefully I'll think about it. But I think I'm gonna want to do Conan again. So yeah, and because I didn't really do a whole lot of personal work today at this time, I'm going to share some more of my older sketchbook. So I'm just picking up from where I left off last time, and I just scanned I think about 8 pages, and these are Steve Houston notes from a Steve Houston lecture at a figure drawing class that I took with him. And I think that there's the video of this is online, but yeah. So here's my notes, and the notes here, just to let you know, this is the shoulder shape. I was drawing a shoulder shape. Here we have the breakdown of the back of the back of a body. And the notes are here that there's this kind of shape that goes into this cylinder here, and this connects here, the armpit, shoulders when they move up, this whole section goes up, the armpit connects to this point right here in the arm. So it's stuff like that. Just putting in my notes, sketching out my notes. This is the shape of the torso and what the torso is supposed to look like. So just drawing these shapes here, so that this is how it goes. Where the shoulder and chest, where the shoulder is, the chest follows. So, you know, the stretch of the pecs when they go into the shoulder, and the nipples are in perspective across the chest. So it's stuff like that, like these little notes. Some more sketches. Here I'm just copying a value study that he was doing on the board. I drew it as he was drawing it. I was copying what he was drawing. This is a drawing that I did as a practice, a little figure drawing from some kind of photo book. It's okay. I was just that was just me practicing, and it's okay. I'm not really like happy with it. This, I think I was at the movies, and I just brought my sketchbook and I drew the people in front of us. So I was just doing these sketches off of people that I was looking around and seeing. Back to a couple of days later or a week later, back to figure drawing with Houston here. Talking about twists, S-curve in perspective, drawing the muscles wrapping around a tube shape. So this is going in perspective, this is not going in perspective. This goes counter the perspective. That was the idea. So just copying his sketches, copying his drawings, seeing how these shapes interlock. That's really what that was. I think this has something to do with my taxes, maybe. I don't know. Here, this money here. Yeah, so these are just shapes here. Again, these are notes that I took off of his lecture. Let's see. So these are sketches that I did. I was drawing a character that I wrote a story about. Well, I didn't actually write it down. I had it kind of mapped out and worked out. So I was drawing sketches of how I wanted to draw the character sitting. I ended up drawing the final drawing somewhere, but I lost the original. What are you doing? How are you doing it? What's at stake? How does it affect our ego? Flatter, tell a story, persuade, remembrance, threaten. I think these are just notes on story and writing, I think. I believe that's what it was. This is a friend of mine's phone number that is no longer his phone number. This was so many years ago. So don't try to call it. I don't know whose number that is now. Yeah, so that's what that is. How the character sees the world. Asians don't show corner of eye sockets. Okay, so these are notes again from a Steve Houston class, talking about where to put the eyeball into the socket. You know, shapes like this. Here's a tube and how it wraps around, stuff like that. This note about Asians. So what the discussion was the way that different races have different how the features work. And I believe what was being said was that the muscle masses in some Asian faces tend to come out more, so that when the eyes insert in certain racial features, they're not as extreme as, say, in a Caucasian, where the eyes go really deep and you could see them go really deep, and you have like these really hollow eye sockets. In an Asian face, they tend to, the muscle masses, the muscles, and tend to come out a little bit more, and so they don't have like really indented eye sockets. I think that's what we were talking about there. Yeah, I think something like that. So yeah, so like this kind of shape here is not as extreme in some races as in other races. It's just genetic, you know. Cornea rises up, right? So the cornea is up here. Thickness of the farthest side. So here's the thickness on this side here. So I think, yeah. There's a ball of the nose. So just drawing, just taking notes on noses and mouths. This is a really great lecture on the mouth. I really got a lot out of it. Um, the heart shape, the way that to draw the mouth. You draw this line, and then you draw up. We're looking up at it. We're looking down at it. There were just so many really good things in this lecture on the mouth, where you just draw a line all the way across. Here's the thing. But if we're looking down at it, then the line goes. All the details go below the line. If you're looking up at it, all the details go above the line. Very, very helpful. I think I've just repeated a lot of this stuff in my own lectures because they're so helpful. And here's the ear notes. Talking about the shape of the ears. And again, like a lot of this stuff is stuff that I tend to talk about on my website. And that was it. That was all the sketchbook stuff that I'm going to be sharing with you. And if I need more, and I haven't done enough stuff during the week, I'll just scan more of this sketchbook because there's a lot of really interesting notes in them. Now this is new. This page is from my little mini sketchbook that I carry around in my pocket in my jacket pocket. This was actually done a month ago or 2 months ago, and I've totally forgot to scan it. So now I'm scanning it. Now I've scanned it, and I'm sharing it. But this is newer. This is much newer. These are just doodles and sketches from that sketchbook because I do a lot of waiting around or sitting around or going to restaurants or whatever, and if I feel like it, I take out that sketchbook and I start to doodle. This I drew while waiting for my kids to get out of school, and so I just started drawing the tree and this overhang for the parking lot. This was a sketch I drew for that Magic the Gathering painting. So here's the composition. I was just drawing a cat here. This is a car. This shape here is the car that was at the parking lot, and I never finished it. I just drew this thing on it. I don't know why I drew this guy. I mean, I think I was just doodling. This was something that I saw somewhere, and I started just drawing this thing. And again, just doodling a pelican here. This is a picture of a monkey with my son's hair. So it was a silly thing where I'm kind of drawing my son as a monkey, I guess. I drew this bear just because I felt like drawing a bear, and there was some crayons at the restaurant I was doodling this in, so I started coloring with the crayons. I drew another monkey, a little werewolf guy, just talking to my kids, just messing around, drawing, doodling. They said something about a Ninja Turtle, so I drew a Ninja Turtle. And here's Comey from I forgot the name of the anime, but I drew Comey. And then we were talking about Garfield and how when I was a little kid, I drew Garfield all the time, and then I showed them the way that when I was a little kid, I would like just draw Garfield, and I would start with an eyeball, and then the nose, and then the mouth, and then I would just go all the way around. This is the kind of drawings that I would always do. This is like if you see my elementary school sketchbooks or drawings or whatever, I was always drawing this. And that's it. So that's this month's postcard Patreon rewards. Next month, I will probably have a storyboard to share with. I don't know what state it will be in. Hopefully, it'll be done. But I'm definitely going to start working on that storyboard because it needs to get done. and hopefully I'll start doing other things, because I'm starting to get back that feeling that okay, I feel like drawing a little bit. Like, what should I'm getting that excitement. It's slowly coming back. I think I've rested enough. Um, and and uh, and uh, and I can feel the drive coming back for wanting to do some fun drawings. Honestly, drawing the Conan helped a lot. Helped a lot. I think one of the problems that I'm having is that um, I find I could draw anything, right? But I want to draw something that means something. And everything that I said about Conan, I find very meaningful. So when I draw Conan, to me, I'm drawing that meaning, right? So the image that I'm drawing is a representation of the meaning that I want to think about. I don't want to just draw anything for the sake of drawing anything. I want to draw something that has some meaning. And I found that if it's just drawing for the sake of drawing, if it's meaninglessness, it doesn't help. I don't want to draw. But when it's something that I find meaningful, that represents something meaningful, then it's much more interesting. I'm much more excited to draw it. Doodling like this, like in this page, doodling is just, it's fine, but it's just play, I guess. But which is tough. I actually I took my daughter to her dance class, and while I waited for her to come out of her class, I was out in this little patio area, which is absolutely beautiful and peaceful and really nice. And I sat down with my sketchbook and I looked around, and I just didn't feel like drawing. I had my sketchbook and I didn't want to draw. I could draw anything there, and nothing was motivating me to draw except for drawing's sake, and it felt meaningless. If I had found some excuse, some kind of something that made me like just convince myself that there was some meaning in what I was doing, then I think I would have done something. But I was drawing a blank. So I need to draw with a purpose, or else I don't draw. So anyway, so that was just me. Hopefully you have a good day. Hopefully you got something out of this. And thank you for your support. I mean, it really, 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 really means a lot. I'm extremely grateful for everybody who is supporting me via Patreon. It means the world. Thank you so much. And I will talk to you next time. All right. Bye. So I'm happy to announce that I now have a new drawing lesson called Drafu Guide to Sketching and Gesture Foundations. It's the beginning of the level 2 information that people have been asking me for the drawing website, which will teach you where to start drawing, what to draw when you draw, how to draw from observation, how to draw from imagination, how to draw what you envision, and how to discover what you ought to envision if you don't have anything specific in mind. So if you find any of this interesting, you could follow the link that you see, or you can go to thedrawingwebsite.com, look under level 2, and you'll find a link there.